PSAT scores are returned to students in the first part of December, and then depending on a student's schedule, they can either take the SAT in January, March, May, or June. The content of the SAT is such that most kids are actually forgetting stuff by the time they get to junior year. The math on the SAT really only goes through Algebra 1, although you might have a handful of questions that deal with a little bit of Algebra 2. So what I would do is take a look at your schedule. If you play spring sports, you may want to lean toward either the January or the March test. And that way, if you're doing prep work, you'll do the majority of your prep work when you have the most free time. I would avoid June for the SAT because if you need to take the SAT 2 subject tests, June is an ideal time to do that. The subject tests correspond to what you're doing in school. So for instance, if you're in a year-long chemistry class, June is a time when you're probably going to know chem better than you will until you do it again in college.
Just like verbs have to agree with their subjects, nouns have to agree with other nouns, and pronouns have to agree with the nouns they're replacing. Here's an example. Mothers often feel that their chief responsibility is taking care of their baby. When I say that nouns have to agree with other nouns, this is what I mean. Mothers is plural. So if you have more than one mom, you need to have more than one baby. It's not like you could have all the moms sharing one baby, right? Pronouns are heavily tested in the writing section. 3 things to remember about pronouns are they need to agree with the nouns they replace, it should be clear which noun they're replacing, and they need to be in the correct case. Here's an example. In the introduction, Rob gave you this one. Anyone who saw this year's Super Bowl would say that they saw a great game. So the pronouns in this sentence are anyone and they. Both of those need to agree, but anyone is singular and they is plural. Since they is replacing anyone, it's incorrect. You'd have to say, anyone would say that he or she saw a great game. Make sure that pronouns agree with the nouns they replace, even if it sounds a little weird to you. Remember, this is written English, not spoken English. If someone says a pronoun is ambiguous, it just means it's not clear which noun the pronoun is replacing. Try this one. Nancy told Eleanor that she was an important part of the team who could not be easily replaced. So who does she refer to? You can't really tell for sure. Either Nancy or Eleanor was an important part of the team who couldn't be easily replaced. The way the sentence is written, it's just not clear who she refers to. Whenever you have a couple of singular or plural nouns in a sentence, make sure any pronouns in the sentence are unambiguous and you know which person they refer to. You need to know the difference between objective and subjective pronouns. Subjects are active, they do things. Objects are passive, and they get things done to them. Usually your ear will tell you which is the right case, but sometimes it's a little trickier if you have a couple of nouns or pronouns together. In that case, you want to take out the other noun and read the sentence without it, like this. To get to the beach as quickly as possible, you should follow Annette and I, or you should follow Annette and me. My house was just painted by a local college kid and he, or by a local college kid and him. In the first sentence, would you follow I, or would you follow me? Obviously, you'd follow me. For the second, would my house be painted by he or painted by him? By him, right? Getting rid of the extra noun can help you figure out whether your pronoun should be a subject or an object.
Let's try a few questions from the College Board Guide and then come back and I'll explain them to you.
Okay, with 25, it says Peter's seemingly effortless flights. And then if we continue down to the verb, it says continues to delight, and it should be flights continue. So that's C. Question 28, we have an ambiguous pronoun because it says neither Ms. Perez nor Ms. Tanaka believes that watching as much television as her son. We don't know who her son is. It could be either, so C for 28.
Nou, dit is dus de huiskamer. En dan komen we hier bij de slaapkamer.
Oh ja.
Met